What's going on, guys? It's Rachel back again with another amazing Q&A Tuesday video from Makers Gonna Learn, where we answer your burning questions about crafting. In today's video, we're gonna be answering, can I use HTV with my household iron? And if you guys are a beginner, HTV stands for heat transfer vinyl or iron-on. We have several opinions on this matter, and the easy answer is no. And we're going to explain why all in this video. Now, I do want to preface this by saying over 2 years ago, we did film a video on how to use a household iron with HTV. Now, this was filmed because at the time, there was only one Cricut EasyPress available, and it was over $150. And we totally understand how that is just not doable for most people. However, since then, they have made so many more EasyPresses, including the EasyPress Mini, which happens to be our favorite EasyPress. Because of this, in the much lower price point, we now do not recommend using HTV with your household iron because these are so much easier to get and there are just way too many problems surrounding household irons. There are 4 major problems and we're gonna go ahead and break those down for you. The first problem is that there is no true temp gauge on these irons. To be completely transparent, they're simply not used for crafting. They're not built for that, and we don't like to use them for that. There is just so many problems with it, and of course the biggest is for different materials using your Cricut, you're gonna need a lot different heat settings. Without being able to truly heat set your iron, you really don't know how hot it is or how not hot it is. A lot of times we get complaints that it has burned not only their iron-on, but the transfer sheet that comes with iron-on, which is crazy. That iron has to be super hot to do that. Other times the vinyl won't stick at all, we hear from our viewers. We really are upset about that, and we really wish that there was more regularity with irons and their temperature, but since there's not, you just really don't know how to gauge what temperature irons are, which makes them really not great to use with HTV. This iron is a Shark iron. We have used it for years. This was in Tanner's house forever and ever, and we brought it here to the studio to film videos just like this, and it's a pretty good iron. So in that video on how to use HTV with a household iron, we did have success in that video because this is a pretty good iron. I'm not saying if you go out and buy a $30 iron, it's gonna have success with this, especially because you can spend just a few more bucks and get an EasyPress, which was designed for the types of crafts you're wanting to complete. Now, I bought an $8 iron from Walmart because I barely iron at my house, and I can guarantee you that one would be very unsuccessful when using HTV. So that is something that you all definitely need to think about, is just how there's no way to gauge your heat on a household iron. The second problem is probably the most important problem, and that is that there is such uneven heat distribution on the heat plate of the iron. Now, if you see the heat plates here, the heat plate of the household iron is very unregulated. There's different heat spots. Heat can be very high up here and not a lot of heat down here. To regulate that is super hard, and to be quite frank, they don't manufacture irons to have super even heat distribution. Because of this, you never know if your HTV is adhered down completely around your entire design or not. There's just simply no way to tell with the iron and how uneven its heat distribution really is. Whereas with the Cricut EasyPress Mini, as you can see this little bitty heat plate here, the entire thing is very regulated. Because this was designed for projects to use with HTV, the entire heat plate is all one temperature. There's no heat spots where, you know, pieces are hotter here and less pieces are not as hot down here. That doesn't happen with these because they're designed for crafting and to give you a successful HTV project. The third reason, and again, this is an important reason as well, is that there's so much less control with a household iron. Look at the size difference here. This size difference is substantial. Not only that, but given that there is no true heat reader, plus there's no heat distribution here that's even, it's so hard to control the success of your projects. And not only that, but the size really does matter here too. Because this is such a large heat plate, if you lay it down on something like iron on wood, for instance, as you can see, the wood is not perfectly flat. It is not perfectly smooth. So really only a couple of spots on our large heat plate is actually hitting the wood, which means only a few spots are getting adhered when it comes to our HTV. That is a problem, not only because the heat is uneven, but because we could very easily burn spots on our project. Whenever you're using the Cricut EasyPress Mini, it is so small and dainty that it is covering way more surface area of this wood simply because it is smaller. With a larger heat plate, it's very unevenly laid on the wood, whereas since this is so small, it can so much easier get into those nooks and crannies of that wood to have a successful project. Not only that, but because this is smaller, you can really see things clear. It's so much easier to know what is being adhered, if this part is adhered well, if this part isn't. It's so much easier when something is small like this because you can really see with your eyes and control the outcome of your project. A lot simpler than using a larger iron, especially with such an uneven heat plate like a household iron. And guys, we touched on this beforehand, but the last point I want to make is that the household iron is simply not made for crafting. We did recommend it years ago when there was no other options available that were even close to the price range of a household iron. But since there is, we really recommend to get a Cricut Mini EasyPress. The little one we use for a wide variety of projects. We use it for every single iron on wood project we have. We use it for onesies all the way up to very large canvas tote bags, pillows, t-shirts, and more. You can use this little fella on just about anything, and we definitely do. And with a price range around $50, you really cannot beat the price and the quality for what you get. With the heat regulation, the even heat plate, and just the constant success with your projects, we would never recommend to use a household iron for HTV ever again. Also guys, just one other thing I wanted to mention. If you guys are in the market or you're sewists or anything like that, we actually love this Mini EasyPress for that type of thing too. If you have a quick shirt that needs to be a little bit ironed to get a couple of those wrinkles out, this little fella is great for that too. There's many purposes that you can use this Mini EasyPress for, and we definitely hope that you invest in one. Thank you guys so much for watching. We hope that you have enjoyed another Q&A Tuesday. Don't forget to leave any questions you have down in the comment section below and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. If you would like to see more amazing content like this, go ahead and ring that bell and get notified for all the crafty goodness that you'll see on our channel. Again, today we answered the question, can I use a household iron with HTV? And we hope that you guys definitely got that question answered. Thanks so much, guys. Don't forget to click the very first link in the description below if you want to know how you can join Makers Gonna Learn and get access to not only thousands of cut files and hundreds of fonts, but we also have a free commercial license, a member-only Facebook group, and amazing beginner training. So definitely go check that out. Bye, guys.